those of you that don't know me, I'm Sonia Ancoli Israel. I'm past president of Congregation Bethel and the chair of the Holocaust Memorial Committee. Some of you know that I am a second generation. My parents, Esther and Nisan Ancoli of blessed memory, were survivors. Like Fanny Krasner-Leibovitz, whose story moves us to tears each year on Yom Kippur, my parents had amazing stories. Stories of luck, of miracles, of chutzpah, of strength, and of love that enabled survival. My grandparents and uncle and many others in our family were not so lucky and were murdered in the streets, in the camps, and in places we don't even know. Holocaust survivors. This title, these words, heard and read over the last 70 plus years, is taking on new meaning today as these heroes are dying, as their chance to tell the stories and to ensure that we do remember is getting more and more rare. Now it is up to us, second generation, third generation, fourth, and now even fifth generation. Now it is up to all of us. And so, 7 years ago, when I took over as president of Bethel, I became devoted to building a Holocaust memorial on our campus, a memorial to all those who were lost. I wanted recognition of the horror of the past, combined with a promise of a decent and fair and humane future for us always. A decent and fair and humane future? Seems that future is not here yet. As it turns out, our families are still being murdered. We can't not talk about the tragedy, the horrific act of murder against innocent people just because they are Jewish, right in our own backyard, in our own places of worship. The shootings this past Shabbat, the attack on Chabad of Poway by a white supremacist, just reminds us that the hatred is still out there. Our hearts and our prayers go out to the families of Lori Kay of blessed memory, and a refuah shlema to Rabbi Goldstein, 8-year-old Noya Daihan, and Almog Peretz, as well as all those who were traumatized by these events. Anti-Semitism is not going away. This white supremacist was not crazed, he was evil. He was so ignorant, misinformed, and uneducated about who we really are. Never again takes on new meaning. Tikkun Olam takes on a new meaning. Repair the world that feels like it is really broken. Repair the world by teaching love and stamping out hate. We as Jews are strong now. We can stand up and fight. Education takes on a new meaning. Let's fight with education. I wanted this memorial to educate our children and ourselves so that we and everyone else, in fact, never forget. I wanted to create a memorial of hope, of beauty, that would be a lasting tribute to the men and the women and the children who did not survive, especially the children, because I believe that it is with the children that the hope for the future lies. We all believe in children, but for me, saving children, remembering children, honoring children takes on special meaning. My mother, born Esther Becking, was from Radviliškis, Lithuania. In the early days, right after the end of the war, a war she managed to survive, she lived in Vilna. One day there was a knock on the door, and a young man stood there with a telegram. It read that the Brecha, the Jewish underground, had heard she could be trusted, and they enlisted her help to smuggle children out of Lithuania into Poland, from where they could more freely be sent to what was then Palestine. The word spread, and young survivors from all over Lithuania appeared at her door. Her job was to make false papers for the children and to bribe people to get trucks. And once a week, in the middle of the night, in the darkness, she would send 3 truckloads of children across the border and to freedom. One night, they were betrayed, and the trucks were caught. My mother never knew who survived and who was murdered on that night of betrayal. But that story is not over. Fast forward 60 years to February 2004. My mother is wintering in Florida, as New Yorkers were apt to do, and is invited to a social gathering for survivors from Lithuania. Someone points out a woman recently arrived from Israel, and my mother, always the most friendly, most welcoming person, went over to say hello. The woman, Gila, tells my mother that she arrived in Israel from Lithuania only in 1976. Why so late? My mother asked. Gila replied, I tried to get there once through the bracha in Vilna in January of 1946. But the truck I was on was caught, and we were sent to Siberia. My mother stood there just staring at her, and then she whispered, I was in the bracha in Vilna in 1976. No, Gila replied. I only knew one person there. Her name was Esther Becking. Esther Becking. My mother gasped, I'm Esther Becking, I'm Esther Becking. And I'm so sorry that because of me, you ended up in Siberia. No, Gila replied as they hugged. It is because of you that I am alive. I have my box of tissues. So saving children, remembering children, honoring children. For several years now, I would walk past this empty wall and stare at it, imagining what it would look like with the memorial I hoped to build, the Congregation Bethel Holocaust Memorial. My committee worked hard to find just the right design for our campus, and we were fortunate to collaborate with Cheryl Ratner Price of the Butterfly Project and Helen Siegel, artist extraordinaire. And from that collaboration, this memorial was born. Thanks to so many of you, we were able to raise just about all the funds we needed. And so now, here we are. We were able to include you in the making of this memorial. You painted butterflies, which are now behind me on this wall. Each butterfly was painted in memory of a child murdered. These butterflies helped meet the goal of 1.5 million butterflies representing the 1.5 million children who were killed in the Holocaust. I painted my butterfly. There it is. Or, no, maybe it's over here. Actually, I have no idea where it is. I painted my butterfly in memory of my Uncle Shmuel of blessed memory, my mother's older brother, who was shot on the streets of Radviliškis, Lithuania at the start of the war. You will hear more about the butterflies and the Butterfly Project shortly from Cheryl Ratner Price. But, as you will hear shortly from Helen Siegel, our memorial represents much more than just the children. Just last week, as Helen and I, with the help of Joan, Helen's friend, and my husband Andy, were throwing each of these rocks that you see on the ground behind me, I was reminded of our past, of our history. I thought about the slave labor our ancestors were forced into. We just celebrated Pesach, and we repeated the story from slavery to freedom. I was reminded by our Baal Tefillah, David Lipsitz, of how Kristallnacht began with rocks being thrown at Jewish windows. And I felt my history, our history, in every sore muscle as I threw rock after rock after rock. 4 tons of rocks. But this time the rocks were going into a memorial to remember and honor each of those souls. Our plans are not yet finished. We are still raising funds. There will be a garden of leaves planted on posts around the memorial with the names of those family members who perished and those family members or friends we wish to honor. The details, including the cost of the leaves, are still being determined, and we will let you know as soon as we know. There are many people to thank, and I've listed them in your program. Rather than repeating them, I encourage you to read their names. Without each and every one of them, and each and every one of you, this dream of mine, this memorial in front of which I stand, would never have happened. I would like to invite now Rabbis Schulman and Libman to lead us in prayer.
Good evening, everyone. I echo Sonia's gratitude for your presence, and for the care, and for the power of this moment. And as we are gathered here and so moved by everything that Sonia shared, I want to express to you, Sonia, our gratitude and our admiration for the moral and educational imperative, for the passion, the emotion, and the dedication that truly makes this evening, this memorial, and the sense that the memory of the Shoah must always endure possible in our congregation. In 2018, there were 1,879 acts of anti-Semitism in the United States. 249 of them were carried out by white supremacists, neo-Nazis, and other like-minded extremists. It's an upsetting statistic. We take notice. We are not afraid. We must be aware. I learned this attitude from the many Holocaust survivors I have been privileged to know. Their lives and their legacies urge us. It is crucial that we remember and that we teach. It is critical that we protect and defend. But it is also vital that our communal dialogue in the shadow of this memorial not be about hate and security. We must speak together and to others about dignity and goodness. We are not Jewish because they hate us. We are Jewish because we love the eternal, our God, with all our hearts, with all our souls, and with all our might. On your behalf, I sent a letter of care and support to Rabbi Yisrael Goldstein and Chabad of Poway. In it I wrote, "Your trust in God, resilience, and courage in the face of this great evil inspire all of us to embrace and honor the imperatives and the ideals of Jewish tradition. Our cherished survivors came through much more than the cruelty and inhumanity of World War II. They survived and lived true to the values and sensibilities of their natures. It is simply an amazing testimony to all of our survivors, their children, their grandchildren, and great-grandchildren that their post-war lives embrace genuine goodness and purpose in response to unparalleled evil. Recognizing this, standing before this Holocaust memorial wall, I share with you this evening that I am concerned. We cannot ever let go of the survivor generation's courage and resilience or their commitment to life and goodness. From so many different walks of life, survivors tell us about the power and the promise of redemption, and we cannot ever let this go. Ours is a time and a moment when we require all around us people of character. We need people who, knowing the truth about human nature's horror and beauty, can teach the rest of us how to build personal lives of love, hope, and achievement. And so at this commemoration of Yom HaShoah, I ask you, where do the character and the resilience demonstrated by so many survivors come from? And how do we give our children and our grandchildren raised and living in a completely different circumstance, the gift of identifying with and promoting goodness in their lives. Goodness must be what we expect, a goal we strive to achieve for all people. Being good is a commitment that takes root in a person's mind, heart, and soul. Just as I said before, we are Jewish because we love the eternal God with all of our hearts, with all of our souls, and with all of our might. Survivors respond to unspeakable evil, consciously or subconsciously, by urging us to do good. Memory of the Holocaust demands that we build the world those who perished could not know. We best remember the Shoah through awareness of life's gifts and intensely holding to life's blessings. We best honor the memories of those whom the Nazis murdered by demonstrating the courage and the care of our very best convictions. Fortunate today to live in relative comfort and somewhat self-absorbed, I ask you to join me and consider what gives our children and what gives us the will to strive toward dignity and goodness. My hope for this poignant Holocaust memorial wall is that our seeing it and understanding it inspires us to answer this question. I pray this memorial help us to remember, to teach, and to speak together and to others about dignity and goodness. Let me remind you, goodness is a choice we must make repeatedly, constantly, as we consciously move from moment to moment, from situation to situation. Here and now, we must choose to forge a better world than the one in which all those whom we remember this evening lost their lives. Because we have a choice. We can wallow in the depths of human cruelty and shake our heads in despair as we monitor current events that continually demonstrate inhumanity and sow fear. We can talk about hate and security all day long. Or, like the survivors we cherish and the message of this beautiful Holocaust memorial wall, we can reject history's pattern with all of our hearts, souls, and might to affirm the possibility and the necessity of goodness for ourselves, for our families, and for our world. Because here's what you and I truly understand. In life, it is only through goodness that any one of us ever survives and thrives. Rabbi Libman, please join us for prayer.
Please join me on page 7. In the handout, we'll read together most beautiful, profound words honoring the memory, asking us to remember, written by Rabbi Reuven Hammer. In the English, it's on page 7. Please join me. We have come here to remember those who cannot be forgotten. We have come here to speak of that which cannot be spoken, but must not be unsaid. We have come to remind not others but ourselves of what was done and what was not done. We have come to ask questions that cannot be answered, that cannot be left unasked. We know how to remember the dead we have known. We know how to commemorate the death of one person. But all of us are mourners. All of us recall not one but 6 million ones. Not only those we have known, but those who won, the names that are lost forever. Thank you.
I'd like to invite our Baal Tefillah, David Lipsitz, with Nick Akers, to lead us, to sing for us Ani Mami.
HaMashiach, HaMashiach, Ani Ma'amin Be'emunah Shelema Be'eviat HaMashiach, HaMashiach, V'af al pi she'imamei im kol ze'acha kelo, im kol ze'acha kelo b'chol yom she'yavo. V'af al pi she'imamei im kol ze'acha kelo, im kol ze'acha kelo b'chol yom she'yavo. Ya-da-da-da-da, ya-da-da, im kol ze'acha kelo, im kol ze'acha kelo b'chol yom she'yavo.
Thank you, David and Nick. We will now light 6 candles in memory of the 6 million who perished, who were murdered in the Holocaust. I will be inviting up groups as listed in your program to light the candles. If you belong to the group in that list, please come up when I call you. And while the candles are being lit, we will be reciting the names of our relatives of Congregation Bethel members who were murdered in the Shoah, in the Holocaust. When known, we will include the age of death and the place of death. Over 250 names were turned in, and we will read each and every one of them. So, Mo, there you are, thank you. Candle 1, Fanny Leibovitz, and any other survivors who may be here with us tonight.
Razel Heusman, 39, Drahichin, Poland. Nissel Chizik, 39, Drahichin, Poland. Hanale Chizik, 18, Drahichin, Poland. Vegele Chizik, 16, Drahichin, Poland. Hanna Heusman, 47, Brest, Poland. Shmuel Greenberg, 45, Brest, Poland. Shmuel Heusman. Yafa Cohen. Jacob Simcha Cohen. Herman Udalowitz, 55, Libau. Sarah Gamper Udalowitz. Libele Udalowitz, age 8. Vasa Iskevich. Lena Gribben. Rebecca Dropkin. Frida Udalowitz. David Yudovitz, Jakob Gamper, Julius Gamper, Willie Gamper, Jetta Elterman, Leba Gamper, Daniel Yudovitz, Bela Yugalowitz, Leila Kashlensky, Monish Krashensky, Rosa Krashensky Edelstein, Joshua Avsi Blumenthal, Ponori Vilna, Alex Zeidman, 48, Romania, Irma Zeidman, 44, Chelmno, Charlotte Zeidman, 11, Chelmno, Samuel Bohensky, 49, Sobibor, Tilly Singer Bohensky, 48, Sobibor, Anna Bohensky, 21, Sobibor, Sonia Anolik, Moshe Anolik, Kluga, Estonia, Anuita Bacon, Avraham Bacon, Shmuel Bacon, Rapshilitske, Lithuania, Isaac Haas, Elizabeth Haas, Celian Haas, Adale Haas, and 120 more from the Haas family. Freda Leibman, 2.5 years old, Ponar, Poland. Rivka Leah Leibman, Poland. Perka Leibman, Poland. Fredel Meltzer, Poland. Yaakov Meltzer, Poland. Nehemiah Meltzer, 40 years old, Poland. Fagel Meltzer, Ant, Ponar, Poland. Fredele Meltzer, 11 years old, Ponar, Poland. Shmuel Meltzer, 9 years old, Ponar, Poland. Sarah Meltzer, 6 years old, Ponar, Poland.
I now invite the second generation, the children of survivors, to come light the second candle.
Mordecai Bear, 40, Large Ghetto. Rosa Bear, 40, Large Ghetto. Bear, 22, Auschwitz. Jacob Steinkiller, 25, Russia. Ruth Steinkiller, 45, Auschwitz. Mordecai Steinkiller, 65. Albert Rosenberg, Clara Rosenberg, Heinemann and Emma Lebrecht Weinberg, Bella Weinberg, Rachel Klobner, Jakob Klobner, Yafet Klobner, Yaja Klobner Lapidus, Hirsch Rice, Sabina Lobo Rice, Zelda Rice, Risey Rice, Herman Schauder, Marcus Schauder, Rivka Marmelstein, David Marmelstein, Bella Marmelstein, Herschel Pesach, Cody Rosenbaum, Hannah Rosenbaum, Aaron Rosenbaum, Malta Rosenbaum, Maya Rosenbaum, Itzi Rosenbaum, Moshe Rosenbaum, Moshe Tonis, Martha Levi Moritz, 45, Auschwitz, Jacob Moritz, 50, Auschwitz, Chava Kagan, Yeshua Chernosky, Chana Chernosky, Moshe Tepe, Inda Tepper, Moshe Bakal, Mrs. Bakal, Sonia Bakal, Siona Bakal, Pesach Tepper. For the third candle, I invite the third generation,
the grandchildren of survivors.
Rabbi Shmuel Klein, 44, Auschwitz. Zipporah Klein, 38, Auschwitz. Leah Klein, 16, Auschwitz. Rachel Klein, 14, Auschwitz. Eliyahu Klein, 12, Auschwitz. Dvorah Klein, 10, Auschwitz. Moshe Hirsch Klein, 8, Auschwitz. Yosef Bear Klein, 6, Auschwitz. Benjamin Zev Klein, 4, Auschwitz. Esther Schwartz, Shmuel Schwartz, Avram Schwartz, Zev Schwartz, David Schwartz, Rachel Singer, Leah Singer, Maya Singer, Hillel Singer, Frida Hitter, Isaac Hitter, Adel Hitter, Jonah Hitter, Svea Hitter Stern, Aaron Consor, 44, Abram Mordechai Consor, 38, Man Consor, 32, Katzvil Gedalia Consor, 19, Shmuel Gedalia Consor, 18, Shandel Consor, 11, Moshe Consor, 6, Phelan Nikin and her husband, Shlomo Wilner, Reuben Wilner, Malka Wilner, her husband and 6-year-old son, Anna Delfiner, Paul Delfiner, Sarah Ecker's parents and 6 sisters and brothers, Sam Ecker's parents and 5 sisters and brothers, Martha Isaac Lehman, 60, Arthur Lehman, 67, Auschwitz.
For the 4th candle, I invite the 4th generation, the great-grandchildren, and any 5th generation that might be here. And I get to watch my grandchildren light the candles.
Elisabeth Polk, boekdrukker, 23, Auschwitz. Lena, boekdrukker, 26, Auschwitz. Nathan, boekdrukker, 59, Auschwitz. Wolf Jacobs, 48, Sobibor. Catharina Jacobs Blitz, 48, Sobibor. Wally Lederman, 59, Auschwitz. Heinz Fischel, 27, Auschwitz. Ruth Mandus, 26, Auschwitz. Uriel Fischel, 1, Auschwitz. Gaia Levinsons, 56. Lina Wulfsons, 39. Benjamin Vigoder, 41. Bloemen Vigoder, 14. Saldus, Latvia. Mirjam Vigoder, 11. Saldus, Latvia. Louis Perlman, 70. Lipaja, Latvia. Gital Perman, 51. Olga Perman-Krok. Bertha Betty Berman. Sonia Perlman-Martinson, 39. Israel Martinson, 8. Joseph Martinson, 5. Gerda Martinson, 1. Dina Malka-Traub, 42, Lipaja. Samuel Sommer, Shagorod, Moldova. Bessie Sommer, Shagorod, Moldova. Jakub Bretsky. Sura Malka Bretsky. Abba Bretsky. Sala Bretsky. Max Israel Bretsky. Sarah Rosenberg. Sally Eichner. Anna Schwarz, Treblinka. Adolf Schwarz, Treblinka. Ibi Brood. Gita Brood. Magda Brood. Regina Moskowitz, Auschwitz. Samuel Moskowitz, Auschwitz. Sigmund Eichner, Auschwitz. Elsa Rothbaum, Auschwitz. Gabriel Rothbaum, Auschwitz. Ignaz Rothbaum, Auschwitz.
For the fifth candle, I invite members of the Bethel Holocaust Memorial Committee. Many of them could not be here tonight, so if you are related, I see some spouses, please come up to help light the fifth candle. And if anyone is here from the Butterfly Project Education Team, you are also invited to help us light the fifth candle.
Herman Marburger, 61, Warsaw Ghetto. Rosa Marburger, 53, Warsaw Ghetto. Hans Marburger, 17, Hain, Germany. Clothilde Moses, 61, Sobibor. Moritz Moses, 58, Germany. Gita Frieda Stein, 67. Nochem Stein, 42. Leah Stein, 33. Zara Stein, 30. Jenny Gottschalk. Yekudiel Yehuda Kaufman, Auschwitz. Leah Kaufman, Auschwitz. William Zeev Kaufman. Sinai Schrechter, 40, Antwerp. Bernard Rothman, Auschwitz. Rivka Rothman, Auschwitz. Rosie Rothman, Auschwitz. Malka Rothman, Auschwitz. Abraham Azen, Siberia. Esther Shur Azen, Siberia. Miriam Rychek, Lodz Ghetto. Shlomi Rychek, Lodz Ghetto. Simja Rychek, Lodz Ghetto. Isaac Rothman. Arthur Max Rosenberg, 54. Elsa Rosenberg, 53, Auschwitz. Gerda Rosenberg, 21, Stutthof. Ella Redlick, George Redlick. Ella Fink, Julius Fink. Otron family. Leah Finkelstein. Leon Finkelstein. Marcus Schallher, Buchenwald.
For the sixth candle, I invite Cheryl Ratner Price and Helen Siegel to come light the candle. My partners.
Fabius Halpern, Ghetto Stanislav, 1943. Bina Friberg Heilitz. Shlomo Halpern. Aharon Axelrod. Issachar Halpern, Ghetto Stanislav. Yehuda Leib, Ghetto Stanislav. Rachel Taub, 3 years old, Ghetto Stanislav. Yaakov Taub, Ghetto Broda. Feige Taub, Ghetto Broda. Fabel Taub, Ghetto Broda. Shlomo Kloghaft, Ghetto Broda. Rivka Kloghaft, Ghetto Broda. Hannah Kloghaft. Moritz Bamberg. Lina Bamberg. Max Goldschmidt. Elka Pekers Petrovskaya, Korostishev, Ukraine. Yosef Spektrovsky, Korostishev, Ukraine. Menachem Nuchem. Yaakov Peker. Esther Dvora Peker. Hannah Zingman Peker. Tilly Peker. Razel Peker. Moshe Lazmanik. Avrom Lazevnik. Shura Lazevnik. Grecia Lazevnik. David Muller. Moshe Laser Muller. Yaakov Muller. Shlomo Muller. Avraham Muller. Hannah Muller. Ita Muller. Gito Leah Muller. Feige Pessel Muller. Sobel Muller. Yitzhak Isaac Muller. Ignes Schwabel, Auschwitz. Juliana Cohen, Auschwitz. Rachel Pakier, Poland. Asher Pakier, Poland.
Thank you to all of you that turned in names. If you have more names, or if you didn't have a chance to turn in any of the names, you will still have the opportunity to do so. We're going to be keeping all of them on file and find something to do with all of them. Rabbi?
We invite everybody please to rise as we recite the El Maleh, the prayer of memorial, for all of those whom we remember this evening.
El Maleh Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Hamitzeh Menucha Nechona, Tachat Chanfei HaShekhinah, V'malon Kedoshim Uteorim, Kezoar Anashim Nashim Vatach, Shenitbechu V'shenechekutnu V'shenisrafu V'sheneherku Began Eden Timenuchatam Ana Bal Harachamim Hastirem Mesete Knafecha Leolamim Utzror Bitzror Achaim En Nishmotehem Adonai Hu Nachalatam Be'anuchu V'shalom Al Mishkevotehem V'nomar Amen.
Exalted to the souls of all of our people, the men, the women, and the children of the house of Israel who were murdered by the Nazis in the Holocaust. May their memories endure, inspiring truth and goodness and loyalty in our lives. May their souls thus be bound up in the bond of life eternal. May they rest in peace and in dignity. May we always remember them, as together we say, Amen.
Anna Price, CEO and founder of the Butterfly Project.
This is an incredible sight. When Jan Landau and I co-founded the Butterfly Project 13 years ago, I never could have imagined that we'd be standing here at this moment with you on Yom HaShoah to dedicate a work of art such as this. This work, which was created through Helen Siegel's hands and has all of your fingerprints on it. Yehi or is a triumph over the Nazis' plans to destroy us. It is a tree of life, a Shoah memorial like no other, a place for continued education, and a constant reminder of who we are as a people. Fanny Krasner-Leibovitz has shared her miraculous story of survival with you over the years, and we are so proud of her involvement in planning with this Shoah Memorial. The Butterfly Project's education team, composed of Jan Landau, Sonia Fox-Oldbaum, Arlene Keyes, and Judy Gottschalk, have come here numerous times to work with your students, your incredible students. I'm too short. They came and shared their families as second generation, remarkable stories of survival. And we were so moved by your students. Their thought-provoking questions. They didn't want to leave. They wanted to know more. They wanted to have an awareness, and they have an awareness far beyond their years. We were so touched. And your students and your whole congregation painted butterflies with their whole hearts and beings. and it really shows. We're so proud to include your butterflies. I believe there are 661 of them in our worldwide count towards 1.5 million ceramic butterflies made for the children that were killed in the Holocaust. You are a true model to other synagogues, and we are so proud to stand together with you as you dedicate this incredible Shoah memorial. For anyone who knows Sonia Israel, where she is right now, I'm sure you would agree that there is no one that could be more entrusted to open our hearts and commit to making something unforgettable to help us to remember the Holocaust. Sonia's determination, vision, and ever-present loving sparks have inspired all of us, and I am so proud to call her my friend. Now, a word or two about Helen. I know a lot of artists. As you can see here, my friend Helen's talent as an artist literally has no bounds. Her ability to conceive of a work of art that will forever tell a story and invite us to be a part of it is unparalleled. We are so incredibly blessed that the Butterfly Project has had Helen in our midst over the years to help us express both our remembrance and hope for a more beautiful world. Every installation should be a teaching site. May this be a space for small and large conversations that we keep coming back to again and again in order to create a more peaceful world. And one more thing. I can assure you that the Butterfly Project is now, more than ever, in the light of the horrifying, hate-filled attack last Shabbat, we are committed more than ever to step up what we do and reach more teachers and students with our educational programming with a clear goal to empower and fill our world with more upstanders for justice. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you. Helen?
Cheryl, can you join us here?
Sonia, Cheryl, and Helen are going to unveil a plaque as we dedicate this wall this evening. We unveil and dedicate this Holocaust memorial wall to the memories of our loved ones who lost their lives in the Shoah. May their memories always inspire us and guide our paths. We are proud of the Jewish heritage their memories bequeath us. We are devoted to keeping the horror of their deaths and the beauty of their lives always before us. May this Holocaust memorial wall help us to remember, to teach, and to speak together and to others about dignity and goodness. Amen.
Amen.
It is truly my honor to now introduce Helen Siegel, the vision behind this amazingly beautiful and meaningful memorial.
In the words of Leonard Cohen, there is a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. When Cheryl and I first bounced around ideas for this project, we decided we didn't want to create a panorama only of tragedy, but to suggest that despite the horror of the Holocaust, the Jewish people have survived and flourished. After much research and introspection, we decided to construct this tree of life. It is a recognition and condemnation of the darkness, but also a prayer for rebirth and growth toward the light. The recent attack in our midst is a strong reminder that misfortune can occur at any moment, but we refuse to allow hatred to take over in our hearts and evil to prevail. The engineering of the memorial was a challenge. Translating a small initial sketch into a 30 by 9 foot installation. I began by drawing a full-scale chalk outline on my studio floor, followed by cutting manageable size templates out of board-like material that provided the tree's form. I'm simplifying the process here. But essentially, I then individually mosaiced these templates in my studio. We then transported all 30 plus pieces to Bethel and assembled each as if they were a jigsaw onto the wall. My bruised and bleeding fingers and aching muscles were self-evidence of the pure physicality of it. With the laying of each tile, pebble, mosaic, and butterfly, I contemplated the enormity of the history that this piece represents. This community here tonight has made this possible. Sonia, your passion and drive throughout has been an inspiration and a marvel. Cheryl, without the Butterfly Project, your vision, and your belief in me, I would not be here now. Thank you, Mario, for your commitment and work ethic, and Elizabeth for volunteering your time, energy, and spirit. Deep gratitude to all of you who stand for Bethel, from our noble rabbis, president, executives, and educators, through to the field and security staff, as well as donors and members. Thank you for your support. My intention tonight is to read the poem that I wrote as an accessory to the art piece. And as I read it to you, you will hear how the branches represent key elements of the Holocaust itself, while including symbols that represent regeneration and a future for the Jewish people. The written word, though, has its limitations. I encourage you to gaze upon this tree and ruminate and consider your own interpretation and meaning. The poem is part of the unveiling on the wall, but I shall read it now. Tree of Life. This tree, a map of darkest time, each limb symbolic, ours to climb, to bear witness and introspect, some mirror shards to self-reflect. There is a door, a hiding place, or a gate to a future place, an oven door, a burning pyre, gas pipes, chimneys, embers and fire, beaten metal for the munitions, slave labor in factory positions, mass exportation by railroad track, infants hidden in basket or sack, warp and weft, we are interlaced, Kristallnacht, Jewish buildings defaced, desecration and shattered glass, yellow star labeling en masse, innocence flung on a dove's wing, butterflies never to see the spring, an emblem of the perished child, tenacity and hope defiled, pebbles for permanence and for the pain, grave markers for the souls of the slain. In the distance, Jerusalem stone, Israel not yet a state to own, shaped like a shofar, an intimate sound, a primordial call to gather round. From root and trunk, from bough and gate, to turn around the doom of fate. No simple task, repair the world. And thus, the tree of life, unfurled. Thank you.
Ask everyone, please, again to rise and turn in the program to page 9. Join us in reciting the Shoah Kaddish. Yitgadal Kishinev, Yitkadash Warsaw, Shemei Rabbah Auschwitz, Be'alma Divrach Irutei Dachau, Be'amlich Malchutei Buchenwald, B'chayechon V'yomechon Babiyar, V'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, Baghdad, V'agala Uvizman Kariv, Hebron, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'alam Le'omei Amaya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach Kfar Etzion, V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam Mayas, V'yitnaseh V'yithadar Teretzim, V'yitalev V'yithalal Treblinka, Shemei Dekudesha Berichu Bergen-Belsen, Le'ela Le'ela Vilna, Mikol Birchata V'shirata Usha, Tushbechata V'nechemata Masada, Da'amiran Be'alma Jerusalem V'imeru Amen. Yehei Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imeru Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you all for attending tonight. We invite each of you to light a personal memorial candle, if you would like to, which you will find on the 2 tables to the side of the chairs. When you are finished, please join us for a reception in the Jacobs Family Community Hall. Thank you and good night.